To many in the modern world, a river is just water. A mountain is just rock, a tree is just wood. But in African spirituality, these are not objects, they are beings. Ancient, wise, and alive. They see, they feel, they remember. They are the land, and the land is sacred. Today on Ubuntu Mind, we explore how rivers became mothers, mountains became ancestors, and how trees became storytellers of spirit. When most people think of Mother Earth, they imagine a distant force, some cosmic mom, far away up there, too big to notice our small concerns, too grand to hear our quiet pleas. But in African cosmology, the Earth is not a dead planet. It's divine intelligence, a body of spirit. Everything on it, from the rocks to the rivers, is part of that living consciousness. This means that everything has a spirit, everything has a role, and everything has rights. It means mountains aren't just tall landforms. They're ancient beings who hold memories of the Earth's birth. Rivers aren't just streams, they are life givers, mood changers, and message carriers. Trees, they are the lungs of the land and the antennas of spirit. This is why in many African cultures, you don't just walk through nature, you greet it. You ask permission, because you are not alone. You are surrounded by watching eyes. To truly understand the reverence that indigenous Africans have for the land, one must delve into the realm of beliefs that shape their worldview. Central to this is the concept of animism, which sees all things in nature as imbued with spirits. Mountains, rivers, trees, even rocks are not merely inert matter, but living beings with consciousness and power. This belief finds expression in daily life. Before setting out on a journey, one might consult a local elder or diviner to seek guidance from the spirits of the mountain or river they will pass through. Upon reaching the destination, respect is shown by making offerings or simply by taking a moment to acknowledge the presence of the spirits before proceeding further. Sacred rivers and water spirits. Water is life. Water is change. Water is the very essence of existence. So it's no surprise that in many African traditions, rivers hold a special place as powerful spiritual entities. They are seen as the veins of the earth, carrying life-giving essence from one place to another. In many traditions, rivers are feminine spirits, goddesses, ancestors, mothers of the land. Take the Oshun River in Nigeria, associated with the Arija Ocean, a powerful goddess of love, fertility, and healing. Oshun's sacred river is a place of pilgrimage. People come from far and wide to bathe in its waters, to drink from its depths, and to pour libations as offerings to the goddess. It's not just a ritual, it's a conversation. The river knows you. It recognizes sincerity and ego. It can be generous and withholding, turbulent and calm, just as Oshun herself embodies these paradoxes. In southern Africa, river spirits like the Mumlambo are known to appear in dreams or trance. She is half serpent, half woman, both protector and punisher, depending on your intention. The spirit world in motion. When we talk about water, we're not just referring to a liquid. We're talking about a spirit world in motion. It's not just about hydration or quenching thirst. It's about understanding that every drop carries a story, a memory, a power. The way water flows mirrors the ebb and flow of life, reflecting the cycles of birth, growth, change, and even death. It shapes the land, wears down rocks, and nourishes the soil, symbolizing the transformative power it holds over our lives. Water is both a giver and a taker, capable of sustaining life or causing destruction. It is a mirror to our own humanity, reflecting our capacity for both great abundance and devastating loss. As we continue our exploration of the profound connection indigenous Africans have with the land, let's now turn our attention to the mountains that grace the horizon. Mountains as ancestors. Mountains are not just tall landforms. They are the bones of the earth, holding memories in their peaks and valleys. They are the oldest storytellers on the land, witnessing the passage of time and the evolution of life. For indigenous Africans, mountains are sacred spaces where the physical and spiritual realms converge. They are the closest the earth comes to touching the heavens, making them perfect dwelling places for ancestral spirits. Take, for instance, the Drakensberg Mountains in southern Africa. To the Zulu people, these mountains are not just a scenic backdrop, but the very abode of the Amadlozi, their ancestral spirits. Rituals and ceremonies are held here, where the thin veil between the physical and spiritual worlds allows for a more profound connection with the ancestors. The mountains become a living, breathing entity, a silent observer turned wise elder. Climbing a sacred mountain isn't just hiking, it's a pilgrimage, a journey of the soul as much as it is a physical ascent. Along the way, rituals are performed, songs are sung, offerings are made, all to honor the spirits that dwell in the mountain's heart. At the summit, one doesn't shout or revel in victory. They stand in silence, dwarfed by the immensity of the landscape and humbled by the presence of the ancestors. It's as if the mountain itself is the belly of the earth, containing secrets whispered only to those who ascend with pure intentions. Trees that remember. If mountains are the bones and rivers the blood, then trees are the nervous system of the earth. They reach up like arms towards the sky, connecting heaven and earth. They are the channels through which cosmic energy flows, grounding it in the soil and sharing it with all living things. In African traditions, certain trees are spirit homes. The Baobab, the Iroko, and the sacred fig tree are seen as dwellings for ancestral energies. Their roots spread wide, anchoring them to the earth, while their branches seem to touch the heavens, creating a bridge between the two realms. The villagers would gather around the sacred tree, sharing news, settling disputes, and making plans under its sheltering canopy. It was a living archive, bearing witness to the joys and sorrows of the community over the years. That's why cutting down a sacred tree without ritual is seen as a spiritual offense. Because you're not just taking wood, you're silencing an elder. You're severing a connection to the past, severing a channel of communication with the ancestors. Land and the ancestors. The land is not your resource. It's your relative, it's your sibling, it's your mother. In fact, the land is the ancestor. Burials return people to the earth, not just physically, but spiritually. The bones decompose, becoming one with the soil, but the spirit remains, anchoring itself to the land. Graveyards are not just places of death, they are sanctuaries of remembrance and communion. Here, the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds is at its thinnest, allowing for a more profound connection with those who have passed on. Rituals are performed, stories are shared, and offerings are made, all in an effort to honor the dead and seek their blessings. When people migrate or are displaced, they still spiritually call back to the land through dreams, through songs, through ritual offerings. Even across oceans, the spirit of the land never forgets its people, and the people never forget the land. The land is not just a source of sustenance, it's a repository of memories, a living testament to the struggles, victories, and wisdom of past generations. It's a teacher, a guide, and a constant companion on the journey of life. As we conclude our discussion, let's shift our focus to the trees that adorn our landscapes. If the mountains are the backbone of the earth, then the rivers are its lifeblood. They are the arteries through which the essence of existence flows, carrying with them the very elixir of life. The rhythm of the river mirrors the rhythm of our existence, a constant ebb and flow, a dance between stillness and movement. Just as the river carves through rock with unwavering persistence, we too can shape our destinies by staying true to our purpose. The river's ability to heal and rejuvenate serves as a reminder of the restorative powers of nature and the importance of preserving its sanctity. When we quench our thirst with river water, we are partaking in the life force of the earth, connecting ourselves to the ancient wisdom held within its currents. As we conclude our journey through the spiritual tapestry of indigenous Africans, let's turn our attention to the rivers that weave their way through our landscapes. So the next time you walk by a river, or rest under a tree, or gaze at a mountain in silence, know this: you are not looking at scenery. You are standing in the presence of something sacred, something alive, something ancient enough to hold your soul, and young enough to dance with your prayers. African spirituality reminds us that we're not just on the earth. We are in relationship with it, with its rivers, its trees, its stones. And if you listen closely, they're still speaking, whispering stories in the wind, calling you home. And remember, the earth is not your resource. It's your relative. If this resonated, subscribe to Ubuntu Mind for more ancestral truth, spiritual decoding, and soul-deep wisdom. And until next time, stay curious, stay soulful, and stay connected to the rhythms of the universe. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Ubuntu Mind. If you found this content valuable, please consider supporting us. Your support helps us continue sharing these stories and wisdom.